Oh, hey there. Don Schmidt, the Book Kahuna. Coming at you with this and that, here and there. I wanted to talk today about some thoughts on cancer. Yeah, I'm not supposed to say yeah, okay. You can ding me for that. Last year when I started my treatments, I had a very positive attitude. And I still have a positive attitude. And my thought process was, I'm gonna beat this. I'm gonna kick it, I'm gonna beat it. No problem. And I kept going through all the treatments and the day-to-day and feeling good, and no problems there. No real side effects from all these medications that I'm taking that I know of. I don't. But from day one, things would happen that would just, kind of throw you off your game. Like in the beginning of the year, William Hurt died. And, being a big fan of his work, they said that, he had been fighting prostate cancer for roughly 9 or 10 years from diagnosis. And when someone of that caliber of celebrity passes away from the same disease that you're fighting, the thought runs through your head, well, if this person succumbed, how am I gonna, fight it off? This person, was rich, they had money, they could probably get the best treatments, the best health care, and he still ended up, passing away. But then you go back into your mindset and the day-to-day, and you're fighting, and you're feeling good and it's okay, and get through radiation treatments, 45 days, and get my PSA, and it's down considerably, to a 1.9. Make my 1 year survival in August. I became a 1 year cancer survivor. It's probably longer than that. I mean, they knew that I had cancer when I was in the hospital back in April, May. So it's like at least a year and a half, going on 2 years now that I'm a cancer survivor. But you're going along, everything's great, you're feeling good, treatments are done, doctors are kind of optimistic, they're telling you go smell the roses, do things, get out there, live your life. And then last couple of weeks, Peter McNab died. Now, a lot of you don't know who Peter McNab is, but when I was living on the East Coast on Long Island, and I had my little basement apartment in Wantagh, I had cable, and the hockey channel back then was Sports Channel, and I had Islanders games and Devils games. And of course, the Rangers were on MSG, which was a totally different deal back then. So when the Islanders weren't on, usually there was a Devils game, and I would watch the Devils game. And the two announcers were Gary Thorne, who was doing the play-by-play, who's now been doing Orioles games with Jim Palmer for like years. And the color guy was Peter McNab. So I would listen to, Gary and Peter doing the Devils games, and I was like, wow, these guys are a good team. I like listening to these guys do games. even though I was an Islander fan, I would watch the Islanders games, and then I would, watch the Devils games just to listen to, Gary and Peter. So when I moved out to Colorado back in like '99, I was pleasantly surprised that Peter McNab had gone to the Avalanche when they moved to Colorado from Quebec, and he was their color guy on TV here. So it was a very easy transition for me to like start watching and listening to the Avalanche games here, because I had basically been watching and listening to Peter McNab for like 30 years now. So, and also because Brian Trottier was the assistant coach, who was a big Islander center during the glory days when they were winning the Cups back in the 80s. So it was very easy for me to like transition from New York to Colorado and watch the Avalanche, and they were a good team, and they won a cup, and then they won another cup, and it was great. So I had heard that a couple of years ago, I heard Peter McNab was sick and he had prostate cancer. And in February of 21, the news came out that his cancer was gone. He was in remission. He was good. He was going to be fine. And so sorry. I never met the man. I don't just listen to hockey games. But when, like I said, when somebody dies from the disease you're fighting, you're always wondering, if I could get him, like what chance do I have? But I know from my time in the hospital that I'm a pretty tough SOB, and it's not taking me out without a big fight, and I've been fighting, so I know what the fight is. So I feel fine. Everything is good. I had to have another blood draw for my PSA check. I have to go get that checked out next Monday after Thanksgiving, and we'll see. Hopefully my PSA stayed down, and if it started to go up again, then we've got problems. We got to figure out what's going on. So again, another thing, I was watching the World Series, and in the middle of one of the games, they stopped the game, and they had this, it was like Stand Up for Cancer, and everybody's got a card with somebody's name on it, and I used to watch that before, and I would be like, oh man, I think that's cool that they're celebrating people who have fought the fight or are fighting, or and all of a sudden it hit me that that's me. They're standing up for me. So there's so many things that run through your head. I mean, some days I wake up and I forget that I have it, and I don't even think about it, and I just take my pills, and and other days, like I said, when something happens where somebody has it, or the guy from Duran Duran has it, and he's in really bad shape. So Andy Taylor, is that the guy? Yeah, I think that's the guy's name. Andy Taylor, guitarist from Duran Duran. He's got really bad prostate cancer. So much so that he couldn't go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction a couple weeks ago. So this disease is bad. It's bad. And take it from me, you don't want to get it. But like I said, right now I'm fine. I feel fine. I feel great. And, but, you know, I have my moments when people, you know, when it just hits you. You know, you're like cruising along, and then all of a sudden, boom, you get hit by a torpedo. You know, and then you got to regroup for a couple days, and okay, well, you know, that's him, that's not me, and my physiology is much different. And you know, like I said, I was in the hospital and close to death, so I know, you know, I'm a pretty tough SOB, and I'm not going out that easily. So yeah. So I just wanted to touch base and, you know, give a little tribute, you know, especially to Peter McNab. You know, I was very sorry to hear that. You know, and it just, he was really good at what he did. He was great to listen to. You know, I mean, I love the Islanders broadcasters from the early '80s, Jiggs McDonald and Eddie Westfall, but Gary and Peter McNab were like a fantastic team. You know, I'm not even a Devils fan, and I would just like watch the games so I could listen to those guys call the game. They were just so good together. So anyway, you know, like R.I.P. You know, Peter McNab, I'm thinking about you. And you know, now don't think I'm all down in the dumps and depressed. Like I said, I'm fine. I feel good. Everything's positive. It's just like I said, every once in a while you get hit. So this is Don Schmidt, the Book of Huna, just giving you a little cancer update, and you know, I'll be coming back with another video quite soon. So bye bye for now. Take care.